Adrian Stone had a rule about Thursdays. Keep your head down, finish the week strong, don't let anything surprise you. He broke that rule at exactly 4:47 p.m. The investment firm's 14th floor was quiet. Most people had already shifted into that end-of-day rhythm where they pretended to work while actually planning their evening. Adrian was walking past the empty conference room, coffee in hand, when he heard her voice, Nayla's voice. "I'm free tonight, baby." He stopped. Just stopped. The coffee was suddenly too hot in his hand. The hallway felt smaller. His chest did something weird, something that hadn't happened since he was 22 and stupid. Nayla Brooks was standing by the window, phone pressed to her ear, completely unaware that Adrian existed in that moment. Her voice was soft, warm, the kind of tone people used when they were talking to someone who mattered, someone who wasn't him. "Yeah, I can do 7. I've been thinking about it all day." Adrian's jaw tightened. He should walk away. He knew he should walk away. He was the CEO of Stone Capital, a man who'd built an empire on control and cold calculation. He didn't stand in hallways eavesdropping on his employees' personal lives, except he wasn't moving. Nayla laughed, that real laugh, not the polite one she used in meetings. The sound hit him square in the chest. I know, I promise I'll wear the dress you like." Adrian's hand gripped the coffee cup hard enough that the cardboard buckled slightly. The cheap cup from the bodega on Lexington that he'd grabbed that morning because his assistant was out sick, and he'd actually had to get his own coffee like a normal person. The lid was loose. He could feel it. Nayla turned slightly, still smiling at whatever the person on the other end was saying, and that's when Adrian saw her face. She looked soft, happy. Her locks were pulled back today, the way she did when she was deep in work mode, but a few had escaped and framed her face. Her brown skin caught the late afternoon light coming through the window. She was beautiful. He'd known that for months, he just hadn't let himself think about it too long. "All right, I'll see you soon. Love you. Love you." Adrian felt something crack inside his chest, something he didn't know could break. Nayla ended the call, slipped her phone into the pocket of her blazer, navy blue, perfectly tailored, professional as hell, and turned to grab the tablet she'd left on the conference table. That's when she saw him. "Mr. Stone!" Her eyes went wide. "I didn't know you were—" "Who is he?" The words came out before Adrian could stop them. Low, rough, completely inappropriate for a CEO to ask his project coordinator. Nayla blinked. "Excuse me?" He should apologize. He should make up some excuse about needing the quarterly reports. He should do literally anything except stand there staring at her, like a man who'd just discovered he had a heart, and it was currently being ripped out of his chest. "The person you were talking to." His voice was steadier now, but barely. "Who is he?" She tilted her head slightly, and for a second Adrian saw something flicker across her face. Surprise, maybe, or confusion. "That's personal, Mr. Stone." "Right." He nodded once. "Of course, my apologies." He turned to leave because that's what a professional would do. That's what Adrian Stone, master of control and composure, would absolutely do. He made it 3 steps. "Is there something you needed?" Nayla's voice was careful now. Professional. The warmth from 30 seconds ago was completely gone. Adrian stopped. The fluorescent lights hummed above them. Someone's printer was going off down the hall. The air conditioning kicked on with that familiar rattle it always made. He turned back. "How long have you worked here, Nayla?" 8 months. She was watching him now, really watching him, like she was trying to figure out if he'd lost his mind. Fair question. "Is everything okay?" "And in those 8 months have I ever—" He trailed off, realizing he had no idea where that sentence was going. "Have you ever what?" "Made a complete fool of myself. Lost control over a phone conversation I wasn't even part of. Spent the last 3 hours of every workday trying not to notice the way you bite your lip when you're concentrating." "Nothing." Adrian shook his head. "Forget it. I'll need those projections by tomorrow." "They're already done. I sent them to your assistant this morning." Of course she had. Nayla was the best coordinator he'd ever hired. Efficient, thorough, professional to a fault. Which made this whatever this was, even more insane. Good, that's good. She was still watching him with those dark eyes that missed absolutely nothing. Adrian had the distinct feeling that she could see right through every wall he'd spent 38 years building. "Mr. Stone, are you sure everything's—" "I'm fine," he smiled. The same smile he used in board meetings when he was about to destroy someone's acquisition proposal. "Have a good evening, Nayla." He walked away before she could respond. Made it all the way back to his office. Corner suite, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Manhattan, furniture that cost more than most people's cars. He set the coffee cup down on his desk. It was cold now. He hadn't taken a single sip. Adrian sat in his chair and stared at the skyline. The city was doing its evening thing, lights starting to flicker on, traffic getting worse, people heading home or out, or wherever people went when they had lives outside of quarterly reports and investment portfolios. His phone buzzed. A text from his brother Kieran. "Drinks tonight? That new place in Tribeca?" Adrian ignored it. He opened his laptop, pulled up the projections Nayla had sent. They were perfect, as expected. Charts color-coded, data cross-referenced, every number backed up by 3 different sources. He closed the laptop, picked up his phone, put it back down, stood up, sat back down. This was ridiculous. He was Adrian Stone. He didn't fall apart over a phone conversation. He didn't lose his composure. He certainly didn't feel jealous over an employee's personal life. Except, apparently, he did, because the truth was simple and terrifying. He'd spent 8 months trying not to notice Nayla Brooks. 8 months of professional distance and careful conversations, and absolutely no eye contact that lasted longer than 3 seconds. 8 months of lying to himself. And it took exactly 4 words. "I'm free tonight, baby," to destroy every defense he'd built. Adrian looked at his reflection in the dark window. The city lights made everything look softer than it was. His phone buzzed again. Another text from Kieran. "That's a yes, then." 8 p.m. Don't be weird. He wasn't being weird. He was being completely rational about the fact that his project coordinator was seeing someone, and it had absolutely nothing to do with him, and he was fine with that. Totally fine. Adrian grabbed his jacket, locked his office, took the elevator down to the lobby where Travis, the evening security guard, nodded at him. "Evening, Mr. Stone. Working late?" "Not tonight." He stepped out into the Manhattan evening. The air smelled like hot pretzels from the cart on the corner and exhaust from the line of taxis waiting for the after-work rush. A guy in a Nets jersey bumped into him without apologizing. Adrian stood there on the sidewalk of East 47th Street, briefcase in hand, and realized he had absolutely no idea where he was going. His apartment was uptown. His brother's bar invite was downtown. His mind was somewhere around the 14th floor, with a woman who'd just smiled into a phone and said "love you" to someone who wasn't him. He pulled out his phone, stared at it for a solid 10 seconds, then texted his assistant, "Cancel my morning meeting, I'll be in late." He needed to think, or drink, or possibly both. But first, he needed to figure out why 4 words from Nayla Brooks had just destroyed his entire carefully controlled existence. His phone buzzed with his assistant's reply. "Done. Everything okay?" Adrian looked back up at the building. 14th floor. 3rd window from the left. The light was still on, she was still there. Nayla had a rule about Fridays. Show up early, finish strong, don't let the week mess with your head. She broke that rule at exactly 7:32 a.m., because Adrian Stone was already in his office when she arrived, which never happened. The man usually rolled in around 9 with a black coffee, and that expression that said he'd already mentally fired 3 people before breakfast. But there he was, through the glass walls of his corner office, tie loose, sleeves rolled up, looking like he hadn't slept. "Girl, why are you staring at the boss like that?" Nayla jumped, literally jumped. Her best friend and fellow project coordinator, Simone Smith, was standing right behind her with 2 cups from the coffee shop on Lex, the good one, not the bodega that sold coffee that tasted like regret. "I'm not staring." Simone handed her a cup, oat milk latte, extra shot the way Nayla liked it. "And I'm not nosy. We're both liars today." Nayla took the coffee, It was still hot enough to burn her tongue if she wasn't careful. She was always careful, except yesterday, apparently, when she'd rehearsed that stupid video script out loud in what she'd thought was an empty conference room. "He was weird yesterday," Nayla said quietly, watching Adrian through the glass. He was reading something on his laptop, jaw tight, that little muscle near his ear doing the thing it did when he was stressed. Not that she noticed things like that. Weird how? Just weird. Simone waited. She was good at waiting. It's why people told her things they shouldn't. Nayla sighed. "He asked me who I was talking to on the phone." And? And that's weird, right? Like, boss man doesn't ask about personal stuff, ever. Maybe he was making conversation. Adrian Stone doesn't make conversation. He makes demands, decisions, and occasionally devastating comments about people's Q3 projections. Simone grinned. "You called him Adrian." "What? Just now. You said Adrian, not Mr. Stone." Nayla felt her face heat up. "I did not. You absolutely did. I heard it. These ears don't lie." Simone touched her earrings, little gold hoops that caught the fluorescent light. "So, you like him?" "I don't like him." "You're a terrible liar." "I'm a great liar." "Name one time you successfully lied to me." Nayla opened her mouth, closed it, took a sip of coffee instead. Through the glass, Adrian looked up. Their eyes met for exactly 2 seconds before Nayla looked away like she'd been burned. "Oh, honey," Simone's voice went soft. "You're in trouble." "I'm not in anything. I'm professional. I'm focused. I'm sprung. I'm going to my desk now. Run away. That'll help." Nayla walked to her cubicle, 4th row, window side, with a view of the building across the street, where someone had put a plant in their window that was definitely dead, but no one had removed it yet. She'd been watching that plant die for 3 weeks. Her desk was organized, color-coded folders, pens in a cup, a framed photo of her and her mama at her college graduation, a small succulent that was, thankfully, still alive. She set down her coffee, opened her laptop, pulled up her emails. 43 new messages since yesterday at 5 p.m. The first one was from Adrian, sent at 11:47 p.m. Subject line, "Tomorrow." Her heart did something stupid. She clicked it. "Nayla, I need to see you in my office first thing tomorrow morning. 8 a.m. That was it. No context, no explanation. Just a summons. Crap. What? Simone appeared over the cubicle wall like a pop-up ad. "He wants to see me. 8 a.m. It's 7:34. I know what time it is, so you have 26 minutes to panic. Use them wisely." Nayla looked at the email again. The timestamp, 11:47 p.m., which meant Adrian had been thinking about this, about her, at nearly midnight, which meant nothing. Probably. She spent the next 25 minutes doing absolutely no work, just refreshing her email, drinking coffee, watching the dead plant across the street. At 7:59 she stood up, smoothed her skirt, black, fitted, professional. Her blouse was cream-colored silk that she'd bought on sale at Nordstrom Rack and only wore when she needed to feel like she had her life together. Her locks were down today. She'd spent an hour last night re-twisting the roots because her hair was the one thing she could control when everything else felt chaotic. She walked to Adrian's office, knocked on the glass door even though it was open. He looked up. "Close the door." Oh, this was bad. Nayla stepped inside, closed the door. The click sounded too loud. Adrian's office smelled like expensive cologne and the kind of leather furniture that cost more than her car. The view was ridiculous, all of Midtown Manhattan spread out like a promise. "Sit." She sat in one of the chairs across from his desk. The leather was cold even through her skirt. Adrian leaned back in his chair. He looked tired. Really tired. Like he'd spent the night doing anything except sleeping. "I owe you an apology," he said. Nayla blinked. "What?" "Yesterday, in the hallway. I was completely out of line." "Oh." She hadn't expected this. It's fine." "It's not fine." His voice was firm, CEO voice, the one that made investors nervous. I asked you a personal question that had nothing to do with work. It was inappropriate. It won't happen again. There was something in his tone, something that felt like a door closing. Nayla should feel relieved. This was the right thing. Professional boundaries, clear lines. So why did her chest feel tight? Okay, she said quietly. Adrian nodded once. Good. Now about the Bergman acquisition. Can I ask you something? The question came out before she could stop it. He paused. Of course. Why did you ask yesterday about the call? Adrian's jaw tightened. That muscle near his ear jumped. It doesn't matter. It kind of does. Nayla, because you've never asked me anything personal in 8 months, and suddenly you're asking who I'm talking to on the phone like. She trailed off. Like what? Like you were jealous. Like it mattered to you. Like maybe I'm not the only one who's been noticing things. Nothing. Never mind. The silence stretched between them. Outside, the city was waking up. Traffic sounds, a siren somewhere, someone's car alarm that wouldn't shut up. Adrian stood suddenly, walked to the window, hands in his pockets. I heard you say you were free tonight. Nayla's heart kicked against her ribs. Yeah. And I reacted poorly. Why? He turned. The morning light caught him from behind, turning him into a silhouette. Because for 8 months, I've been very careful not to notice you. The words hung in the air like smoke. Nayla couldn't breathe, couldn't move, could barely think. And yesterday, Adrian continued, voice low, I realized that not noticing you is the only thing I've been doing. Adrian, Mr. Stone, he corrected automatically, then shook his head. No, you're right. It's Adrian, because apparently we're past the point of pretending this is just professional. This? Her voice came out whisper-soft. He crossed back to the desk, leaned against it, close enough that she could see the grey threading through his dark hair at the temples, close enough to notice he'd cut himself shaving, tiny nick just under his jaw. I'm going to ask you something, he said, and you can absolutely tell me it's none of my business, okay? The person you were talking to yesterday, are you in love with them? Nayla laughed. Couldn't help it. The sound bubbled up before she could stop it. Adrian's expression flickered. Confusion. Maybe hurt. I'm sorry, she managed. I'm not laughing at you. It's just... She took a breath. It was a script. What? For a video. I volunteer with this non-profit that makes content for literacy programs. I was rehearsing a script. There's no one. The look on his face was something Nayla would remember forever, relief so profound it was almost painful to watch. There's no one, he repeated, no one. You said love you. It was in the script. She bit her lip, trying not to smile. Did you really think? Yes. He ran a hand through his hair, messing it up. It made him look younger, human. I spent the entire night thinking about it. The entire night? I'm not proud of it. Nayla stood up. Suddenly she needed to be on her feet for this. Why? Why what? Why did it bother you so much? Adrian looked at her, really looked at her, like he was seeing her for the first time and memorizing every detail. Because, he said slowly, the idea of you being with someone else made me want to do something extremely unprofessional. Like what? Like ask you to have dinner with me. The office felt smaller, warmer. The air between them hummed with something Nayla had been trying to ignore for 8 months. That would be unprofessional, she said. Very. You're my boss. I'm aware. HR would have a field day. Absolutely. She should say no. She should maintain boundaries. She should be the responsible one because clearly Adrian had lost his entire mind. Where would we go? She asked instead. His smile was slow, devastating. The kind of smile that probably made board members sign things they shouldn't. There's a place in Brooklyn, small, quiet. Best Italian food outside of actual Italy. You're bribing me with pasta? Is it working? Nayla pretended to think about it, let the moment stretch just to watch him squirm a little. Maybe. Maybe. I need more information. What kind of pasta are we talking about? The kind that will make you forget every other meal you've ever had. Big promises, Mr. Stone. Adrian, he corrected softly. The way he said his own name made something flutter in her chest. "I have one condition," Nayla said. "Name it." "If we do this, if we try this, work stays at work. No mixing business with whatever this is." "Agreed. And if it doesn't work out, it will." The certainty in his voice should have been arrogant. Instead, it was just honest. "How do you know?" Nayla asked. Adrian stepped closer, not touching her, not quite, but close enough that she could feel the heat of him. "Because I've spent 8 months trying to ignore this, and yesterday, 4 words from you destroyed every defense I built. If that's not a sign, I don't know what is." Someone knocked on the office door. They both jumped apart like teenagers caught making out. Simone stood outside, holding a file folder, her expression way too innocent to be real. Adrian cleared his throat. "Come in." Simone entered, handed him the folder. "Q3 reports you wanted." "Thank you." She left, but not before giving Nayla a look that screamed, "We're talking about this later." The moment was broken, the spell lifted. Nayla grabbed her bag from the chair. "I should get back to work." "Tonight?" Adrian asked. 7? She should say no, she should be smart about this. 7, she agreed. His smile could have lit up all of Manhattan. Nayla walked to the door, hand on the handle, then turned back. "Adrian?" "Yeah?" "For what it's worth. I've been noticing you too." She left before she could see his reaction. But as she walked back to her cubicle, past Simone, who was definitely going to grill her, past the break room where someone had burned popcorn again, past the dead plant in the window across the street, Nayla couldn't stop smiling. Her phone buzzed, a text from an unknown number. "I got your number from HR, that's probably inappropriate too. Don't care. Can't wait for tonight." And Nayla saved the number, typed back, "You're terrible at following rules." His response came immediately. "Only the ones that keep me away from you." Yeah, she was in trouble. The best kind. Nayla changed her outfit 4 times. The black dress felt too formal. The jeans felt too casual. The blue wrap dress made her look like she was going to a baby shower. She settled on a burgundy midi dress with a slit that showed just enough leg to be interesting without trying too hard. Gold hoops. Her locks pulled half up, half down. The nude heels that made her legs look amazing, but would probably kill her feet by hour 2. Her mama called at 6:15. "Where you going all dressed up?" Nayla put the phone on speaker while she touched up her edges. "Dinner. With who?" "A friend." "What kind of friend?" "Mama." "Don't mama me. Is it a man?" Nayla sighed. Her mama had a 6th sense about these things. Always had. "Yes." "What's his name?" "Adrian." "Adrian what?" "Stone." Silence. Then, "That's a white boy name." Nayla laughed despite herself. "It's just dinner, Mama." You wear that dress I like?" "The burgundy one." "Good. Text me when you get home. I don't care what time." "I will." "And Nayla?" "Yeah?" "Have fun, baby." The call ended. Nayla looked at herself in the mirror. The woman staring back looked nervous, excited, terrified. Her phone buzzed. "Adrian." "Outside." She grabbed her clutch, locked her apartment, took the stairs down from her 3rd-floor walk-up in Fort Greene because the elevator was broken again, and her landlord kept promising to fix it. Adrian was leaning against a black car that was probably worth more than her entire building. He wore dark jeans, a grey button-down with the sleeves rolled up, and a watch that caught the streetlight. He straightened when he saw her. "Hi." "Hi," she said back. They stood there like 2 people who'd forgotten how words worked. "You look," Adrian started. "You too," Nayla said at the same time. They both stopped, laughed. "This is weird, right?" Nayla asked. "So weird. We work together every day, and yet I have no idea what to say to you right now." She smiled. "You could start with where we're going." "Right. Yes." He opened the car door for her. "Carroll Gardens, little place called Nonna's, best carbonara in Brooklyn. Bold claim. I stand by it." The drive took 15 minutes. Adrian drove himself. No driver, no company car, just him and a vehicle that was way too nice for Brooklyn's potholed streets. They talked about nothing important. The weather, traffic, the construction on the Beltline that never seemed to end. But underneath the small talk there was something else. awareness. Every time he shifted gears, she noticed his hands. Every time she laughed, he glanced over like he was memorizing the sound. Nonna's was tiny, maybe 10 tables, red-checkered tablecloths, candles in wine bottles. The smell of garlic and fresh bread hit them the moment they walked in. An older woman with grey hair and an apron rushed over. "Adrian, tesoro!" She kissed both his cheeks, then turned to Nayla. "And who is this beautiful girl?" "Lucia, this is Nayla." "Finally, a woman." Lucia grabbed Nayla's hands. "Every time he comes here, alone, I tell him, 'Adrian, you need someone to share the food with. Food tastes better with company.'" "I agree," Nayla said, already liking this woman. Lucia seated them at a corner table, brought them water without asking, disappeared into the kitchen. "She's amazing," Nayla said. "She's known me since I was 25. Used to come here after brutal work days, and she'd feed me until I remembered why I was doing any of it. That's sweet. She also gives terrible dating advice, and once tried to set me up with her niece, who was very clearly not interested in men." Nayla laughed, the real one, the one that made her throw her head back slightly. Adrian watched her like she was the most interesting thing in the room. "What?" she asked. "Nothing, just you look happy." "I am happy." "Good." Lucia returned with wine, red, Italian, probably expensive, then bread with olive oil that tasted like herbs and sunshine. Then the pasta. The carbonara was insane, creamy without being heavy, bacon that was perfectly crispy, fresh cracked pepper. "Okay," Nayla admitted after the first bite. "You were right. I'm always right about food." "Just food?" "Mostly food." They ate and talked about real things, not work, not quarterly reports or project timelines. He told her about growing up in Connecticut, with a father who thought emotions were weaknesses, and a mother who left when he was 12, about his younger brother Kieran, who was his opposite in every way. Loud where Adrian was quiet, impulsive where Adrian was controlled. She told him about her mama who raised her alone after her dad died when she was 6, about Sunday dinners that were mandatory, about her best friend Simone who'd convinced her to apply for the job at Stone Capital in the first place. "I almost didn't," Nayla admitted. "The job posting seemed too good, too perfect. I figured it was a scam." "What changed your mind?" "Simone bet me $50 I wouldn't even get a call back." Adrian grinned. "Did you collect?" "I'm still waiting on that money." The conversation flowed easy, natural, like they'd been doing this for years instead of hours. Lucia brought tiramisu without asking. "2 forks. For you share," she ordered. "Is good for the soul." They shared. Nayla got mascarpone on her lip, Adrian told her. She wiped it away. His eyes followed the movement. The restaurant started to empty. Lucia brought the check. Adrian paid before Nayla could even reach for her purse. "I could have split it," she said when they were back outside. "I know, but I asked you out. Old school rules." "Old school, huh?" "Some traditions are worth keeping." They walked, no real destination, just walking through Carroll Gardens on a Friday night with the brownstones glowing warm and someone playing guitar on their stoop. "Thank you," Nayla said, "for tonight, for all of this. Thank you for saying yes." "I almost didn't." He stopped walking, turned to face her. "Why?" "Because you're my boss. Because it could get complicated. Because I've spent 8 months telling myself you were off limits. And now? Now I'm wondering why I wasted 8 months." Adrian stepped closer. They were standing under a streetlight on a quiet block. Somewhere a dog barked. A car passed. "Nayla." "Yeah?" "I'm going to kiss you now, if that's okay." Her heart hammered. "That's okay." He cupped her face, gentle, careful, like she was something precious. The kiss was soft at first, testing, then deeper. His hand slid into her hair, carefully, like he knew how much work had gone into those locks. She grabbed his shirt, pulled him closer, let herself feel everything she'd been ignoring for 8 months. When they pulled apart, both breathing hard, Adrian rested his forehead against hers. "Best first date I've ever had," he whispered. "It's not over yet." "No. Walk me home. His smile was everything. "I thought you'd never ask." They walked back to Fort Greene, talked more, laughed more. He held her hand, and it felt right in a way that made Nayla forget every reason this was complicated. At her building, she turned to face him. "So," she said, "so. Same time next week? How about tomorrow?" She raised an eyebrow. Eager. "Absolutely. Tomorrow's Saturday." "I'm aware." "What did you have in mind?" "Let me surprise you." Nayla pretended to think about it. "Okay, but it better be good." "It will be." She kissed him, quick, sweet, then headed inside before she could change her mind and invite him up. At her apartment, she texted her mama, "Home safe, had fun." Her mama's response, "He kiss you?" Nayla laughed. "Good night, mama." "That's a yes. I'm praying for you, baby." Her phone buzzed again. Adrian. "Already counting the hours until tomorrow." Nayla fell asleep, smiling. Adrian picked her up at 10. Nayla had expected another restaurant, maybe brunch at some trendy spot in Williamsburg. Instead, he showed up in jeans and a Henley, holding 2 coffee cups and wearing sunglasses that made him look unfairly attractive. "We're going casual today," he said, handing her a cup. Oat milk latte, he'd remembered. "Where?" "Prospect Park. I figured we could walk, talk, pretend we're normal people for a few hours." She liked that, the simplicity of it. They drove to Brooklyn, found parking on a side street near the park entrance. The morning was perfect, crisp October air, leaves starting to turn, that golden light that made everything look like a movie. "I haven't been here in forever," Nayla admitted as they walked through the entrance. "Really? I'm always working or tired from working or planning to work." "Sounds familiar." They walked the loop around the lake. Families were out, kids on bikes, someone flying a kite, a guy doing Tai Chi by the water. "So," Adrian said, "tell me something I don't know about you." "Like what?" "Anything. Favorite movie, weird habit, secret talent." Nayla thought about it. "I can't whistle." "What?" "I never learned. I've tried. I just can't." Adrian stopped walking. "You're kidding. I'm dead serious. Everyone can whistle." "Not everyone," he demonstrated. A clear, sharp whistle that made a nearby dog turn its head. "Show off," Nayla muttered. "Try." She tried. It came out as air, no sound. Adrian grinned. "That's terrible." "I warned you." "Okay, what else?" "I'm scared of birds." "Birds?" "Specifically pigeons. They're aggressive. And they have those creepy eyes." "You live in New York?" "I'm aware of the irony." He laughed. That real laugh she was starting to love. Deep, unguarded. They bought pretzels from a vendor, sat on a bench by the water. The pretzel was too salty and slightly stale, but somehow perfect. "Your turn," Nayla said. "Tell me something." "I can't cook." "I know, you told me last night." "No, I mean I really can't cook. I once set off the smoke alarm making toast." "Toast?" "In my defense, I was on a conference call." "How do you survive?" "Takeout. Lucia's, the bodega on Lex that makes surprisingly good sandwiches." "That's sad." "I know. I could teach you." The words came out before she'd thought them through. Teaching someone to cook felt domestic, intimate. Like a thing people did when they were serious. Adrian turned to look at her. "Yeah? I mean, if you want." "I want." The way he said it made her stomach flip. They kept walking, crossed the bridge, found the meadow where people were having picnics and playing frisbee. "Can I ask you something?" Nayla said. "Always." "Why me?" Adrian stopped walking. "What do you mean? You could have anyone. Women probably throw themselves at you. That's not Adrian. You're rich, smart, attractive. You run a company. You're the whole package." He was quiet for a moment, watching a kid chase a soccer ball across the grass. "You want the truth?" "Always." "The first time I saw you, you were arguing with Caleb from accounting about a spreadsheet error," Nayla remembered. 3 weeks into the job, Caleb had messed up the quarterly projections and blamed her team. "You didn't back down," Adrian continued. "You had receipts, printed emails. You proved he was wrong in front of everyone, and you did it without being mean about it, just facts." "Okay, And I remember thinking, that's someone I want on my team. He paused. Then you smiled at something Simone said, and I thought, that's someone I want in my life. Her heart did that thing again, the flutter that felt like flying. 8 months ago, she said softly. 8 months ago. Why didn't you say anything? Because you were my employee, because I didn't want to be that boss, because I was scared. Of what? Of this. He gestured between them. Of feeling something this big. A frisbee landed near their feet. A kid ran over, grabbed it, mumbled sorry, and ran back. It is big, Nayla admitted. Yeah. That's terrifying. Yeah. She took his hand. His fingers threaded through hers automatically. They walked more. Talked about everything and nothing. He told her about his brother Kieran's terrible taste in girlfriends. She told him about the time she accidentally sent her mama a text meant for Simone that included the words, "He's so fine, I might lose my job." Was that about me? Adrian asked. Maybe. What did your mama say? She said, don't lose your job over a man. Then she asked for a photo. Did you send one? I may have sent your LinkedIn profile picture. Adrian stopped walking. You're joking. Her response was, he looks like he can provide. He laughed so hard he had to sit down on a nearby bench. Nayla sat next to him grinning. I like your mama, he said. She'd like you, eventually, after she grills you about your intentions. My intentions are completely honorable. Liar. Okay, mostly honorable. She leaned her head on his shoulder. It felt natural, easy. Like they'd been doing this for years. Hey, Adrian said softly. I'm really glad that phone call was fake. Me too. They sat there as the afternoon stretched around them, the park filled with more people. Someone started playing guitar nearby. The leaves rustled overhead. Eventually they got hungry, found a taco truck on Flatbush, ate on the hood of his car because all the benches were taken. This is perfect, Nayla said. Tacos on a car hood? All of it. This, us, just existing together without trying so hard. Adrian wiped salsa from the corner of her mouth with his thumb. The gesture was casual, intimate. It made her forget how to breathe. I could do this every Saturday, he said. Every Saturday. Or Sunday or Tuesday, I'm flexible. You're moving fast. I've wasted 8 months, I'm making up for lost time. She kissed him, right there on Flatbush Avenue with taco truck smell in the air and people walking by and not caring about anything except this moment. When they broke apart, Adrian's phone buzzed. He ignored it. It buzzed again. You should check that, Nayla said. He looked at the screen, frowned. It's Kieran. He wants to meet you. Already? I may have mentioned you. What did you say? That I'm dating someone. That she's amazing. That he needs to be on his best behavior when he meets you. When, not if. Very much when. Nayla's phone buzzed. Simone, girl, where are you? We were supposed to get brunch. Crap, Nayla muttered. I forgot about brunch. Go, I'll drive you. You sure? Absolutely. Besides, I need to deal with my brother before he shows up at my apartment unannounced. He drove her to the spot in Bedford-Stuyvesant where Simone was waiting, looking both annoyed and extremely interested. I'll call you later, Adrian said. You better. One more kiss, quick, sweet, promising. Nayla got out, watched him drive away. Simone appeared beside her. Girl, don't start. That man is gone for you. I know. And you're gone for him. I know that too. Simone linked their arms. Tell me everything. And Nayla did. Nayla had 3 days to prepare before meeting Adrian's brother. 3 days of Simone giving her unsolicited advice. Don't try too hard. Her mama texting questions. Does he have a job? And Adrian sending her messages that ranged from sweet, can't wait to see you, to apologetic. My brother is a lot, I'm sorry in advance. Wednesday night arrived too fast. They were meeting at a bar in Tribeca. Casual, low pressure. Except Nayla's heart was doing that thing where it tried to escape through her throat. You look amazing, Adrian said when he picked her up. But you always look amazing, so... She'd worn jeans, a black silk camisole, and her favorite leather jacket. Hair down, minimal jewelry. The kind of outfit that said, I'm not trying too hard, while absolutely trying. You're nervous, he observed. I'm not nervous. Your left eye does this thing when you're nervous. A little twitch. It does not. It's cute. Adrian, he kissed her forehead. Kieran's going to love you, and if he doesn't, I don't care. You care. Okay, I care a little, but you're more important. The bar was called the Gale. Dark wood, low lighting, the kind of place that served whiskey in glasses that cost more than the bottle. Kieran was already there, leaning against the bar, taller than Adrian. Broader shoulders, sandy hair that looked like he'd just rolled out of bed. He wore a leather jacket over a band t-shirt and had the kind of smile that probably got him in trouble. Adrian! He pulled his brother into a hug, then turned to Nayla. You must be the woman who broke my brother's brain. Kieran, Adrian warned. What? You called me at 2 a.m. last week rambling about her smile. That's brain-breaking behavior. Nayla felt her face heat up. He did. Oh yeah, full monologue. I recorded some of it if you want. No one wants that, Adrian said quickly. Kieran grinned, extended his hand. Adrian Stone, the better-looking brother. Nayla Brooks, the woman with apparently brain-breaking smiles. I like her already. They got a table, ordered drinks. Kieran ordered a beer. Adrian got whiskey. Nayla went with wine because her hands needed something to hold. So, Kieran said, leaning back in his chair, how's my brother treating you? Kieran. I'm asking a legitimate question. Is he doing the whole intense brooding thing? Because that works in movies, but in real life it's just exhausting. He's been perfect, Nayla said. Boring. Kieran, Adrian said again, this time with more edge. Fine, fine. Kieran turned to Nayla. Real talk. What do you do when he starts talking about quarterly projections at dinner? That happened once, Adrian muttered. It was our mother's funeral, and you were explaining fiscal responsibility. That's completely out of context. Nayla laughed. Couldn't help it. The way Adrian's ears went red. The way Kieran looked absolutely delighted to embarrass him. You two are something, she said. We're brothers, Kieran said. It's my job to make him suffer. And it's my job to remind you I can still beat you in literally anything. You haven't beaten me at pool in 3 years, because you cheat. Strategy isn't cheating. They bickered like that for a solid 5 minutes. Nayla just watched, sipping her wine, seeing a side of Adrian she'd never witnessed, younger, lighter. The little brother annoyed by his big brother, but loving him anyway. So Nayla, Kieran said eventually, what made you give this guy a shot? Kieran, no, I want to know. Women usually run when they realize how much he works. Nayla thought about it. He makes me laugh. Adrian looked at her, something soft in his expression. Also, she continued, he remembered how I take my coffee without asking, and he looks at me like I'm the only person in the room. Okay, that's disgustingly sweet, Kieran said, but he was smiling. You're good for him. I can tell. How? He's smiling. Adrian doesn't smile. Not real smiles, not in years. I smile, Adrian protested. You do the corporate smile. The I'm about to fire someone smile. The I'm barely tolerating this conversation smile. But with her? Kieran gestured at Nayla. That's different. Adrian's phone buzzed. He glanced at it, frowned. Work? Nayla asked. Bergman deal. They're being difficult. It's 9 p.m. Investment banking doesn't have office hours, he texted back. Put the phone away, but she could see the tension in his shoulders. Go handle it, Nayla said quietly. No, Adrian, go. I'll hang out with Kieran. You sure? Positive. He kissed her cheek, grabbed his coat. I'll be 20 minutes, tops. He disappeared outside to make calls. Kieran whistled low. You just gave him permission to work. No guilt trip, no attitude. It's important. You're important. Both things can be true. Kieran studied her. You really get him, don't you? I'm trying to. He doesn't let people in. Not since. Kieran trailed off, took a long drink of his beer. Our mum left when I was 8. Adrian was 14, old enough to feel responsible. like he should have seen it coming, should have fixed it. That's not his fault. Try telling him that. He's spent his whole life trying to control everything, so nothing surprises him again. Kieran met her eyes. Then you showed up. I didn't do anything. You made him feel something he couldn't control, that's everything. The bar noise filled the silence. Someone laughed too loud. The bartender shook a cocktail. He talk about me, Nayla asked. Are you kidding? I know your favorite movie, your coffee order, the fact that you're scared of pigeons, which for the record is hilarious, and that you have a dimple on your left cheek when you smile. He noticed that? He notices everything about you. Adrian came back 15 minutes later, tension gone from his shoulders. All good? Nayla asked. All good. They agreed to our terms. Of course they did, Kieran said. Nobody wins against Adrian Stone. They stayed another hour, more drinks, more stories. Kieran told embarrassing childhood tales. Adrian retaliated with recent disasters. Kieran dating a woman who turned out to be married. Kieran accidentally insulting a chef at a 5-star restaurant. Kieran showing up to a black tie event in jeans. In my defense, Kieran said, I thought black tie optional meant optional. By the time they left, Nayla's cheeks hurt from laughing. Outside, Kieran hugged her. You're cool. Don't let this guy mess it up. I heard that, Adrian said. I know. Kieran left in a cab. Adrian pulled Nayla close. So? He asked. I like him. Yeah, he's obnoxious and loud and completely inappropriate. That's accurate. But he loves you, I can tell. Adrian kissed her. Slow, deep, the kind of kiss that made the Manhattan night feel warmer. Thank you, he murmured against her lips. For what? For being you, for getting it, for not running when I had to take that call. I'm not going anywhere. His smile was the real one, the one Kieran had talked about. They walked to his car, hands linked. The city hummed around them. Your place or mine? Adrian asked. Nayla's heart skipped. Mine, but just to hang out. Just to hang out, he agreed. They both knew that was a lie, but it was the sweetest lie either of them had ever told. Nayla's apartment smelled like vanilla candles and the faint scent of cocoa butter from her hair products. Adrian stood in her kitchen, small, cozy, nothing like his massive chef's kitchen in the Upper West Side that he never used, looking completely out of place and adorable because of it. Okay, Nayla said, tying an apron around her waist. First rule of cooking, season everything. Everything? Everything. She handed him an apron. It had cartoon avocados on it. He put it on without complaint. We're making jerk chicken, she announced. Simple, flavorful, impossible to mess up. I wouldn't be so sure about that. She laughed, pulled ingredients from her fridge. Chicken thighs, Scotch bonnet peppers, scallions, thyme, allspice. First, we make the marinade. Adrian watched as she combined ingredients in a blender. The kitchen was warm. Her playlist, old school R&B, her mama's favorites, played from a speaker on the counter. Now you try, she said, stepping aside. He moved to the counter. She stood behind him, close enough to smell his cologne mixed with the spices. Add the peppers. Careful. They're hot. How hot? Very. Don't touch your eyes after. He added them to the blender. She reached around him to add more time. Her arm brushed his. The touch felt electric. Now blend it. The blender roared to life. The mixture turned into a vibrant orange paste. Perfect, Nayla said. See? You're a natural. You're a good teacher. Their eyes met, held. The air between them hummed. Chicken, she said, breaking the moment. We need to marinate the chicken. They worked together. She showed him how to coat each piece, how to massage the marinade into the meat. His hands were bigger than hers, less practiced, but he listened, followed her instructions. Now we wait, Nayla said, covering the bowl. At least an hour. An hour? Good things take time. I'm learning that. The way he said it made her stomach flip. They cleaned up. She washed, he dried. It felt domestic, natural, like they'd been doing this for years. Can I ask you something? Adrian said, putting away a bowl. Always. Why do you volunteer with that literacy program? She paused, hands in soapy water. My dad couldn't read well. He dropped out of school young to help his family. He was brilliant, could fix anything, remembered every conversation, but reading was hard for him. I'm sorry. Don't be. He taught me that intelligence comes in different forms. She rinsed a plate. When he died, my mama made sure I understood how lucky I was to have education, so I give back. Adrian set down the dish towel, pulled her close, soapy hands and all. You're incredible, he whispered. I'm just doing what I can. That's what makes you incredible. He kissed her, slow, sweet, tasting like possibility. When they broke apart, she was smiling. The chicken still needs 40 minutes. What should we do? I could beat you at Uno. Bold claim. I'm undefeated. We'll see about that. They played on her couch. Old and slightly worn, but comfortable. She won 3 games straight. You're cheating, Adrian accused after the third loss. I'm just good. Suspiciously good. Sore loser. He tackled her, gentle, playful. They ended up tangled together, laughing, cards scattered everywhere. I like this, Adrian said, brushing a lock behind her ear. Losing at Uno? Being here, with you. No work, no pressure. Just us. Me too. Her phone buzzed. She ignored it. It buzzed again. You should check that, Adrian said. She grabbed it from the coffee table. Text from Simone. Girl, how's the cooking lesson? Has he burned down your kitchen yet? Nayla typed back, still standing. He's actually not bad. Simone. That's the endorphins talking. Ask me tomorrow. Simone? Adrian asked, checking if you've destroyed my kitchen. I haven't destroyed anything. Yet. The timer went off. Chicken time. They moved back to the kitchen. Nayla showed him how to grill it in her cast-iron skillet, since she didn't have a proper grill. The smell filled her apartment, spicy, savory, mouth-watering. Oh my God, Adrian said when he tried a piece. This is amazing. Right? I made this. We made this. I'm never eating takeout again, she laughed. Don't get ahead of yourself. They ate at her small dining table, rice and peas she'd made earlier, fried plantains, the chicken that was, honestly, perfect. My mama would approve, Nayla said. Yeah? She judges men by 2 things, how they treat her daughter and whether they can provide. I think I've got the second one covered. It's not about money. I know. It's about showing up, being present, actually caring. Adrian reached across the table, took her hand. I'm here. I'm present. And I care more than I probably should after a few weeks. How much is too much? I don't know, but I'm way past it. Her heart did that flying thing again. After dinner, they did dishes together, more R&B, more casual touches, more moments that felt like building something real. I should go, Adrian said, but didn't move toward the door. You should. It's late. It is. Neither of them moved. Or, Nayla said carefully, you could stay. Stay? Just to sleep. I mean, unless you... He kissed her, cut off her rambling. When he pulled back, his eyes were dark with want. I would love to stay. Yeah? Yeah. She led him to her bedroom. Small, cozy. Fairy lights strung above the bed because she liked the way they looked. Her comforter was purple. Her pillows were everywhere. It's not fancy, she said. It's perfect. They got ready for bed. She lent him a t-shirt that was too small, but he wore anyway. She changed in the bathroom, came out in sleep shorts and a tank top, her bonnet already on. Adrian stared. What? She asked. Nothing, you're just... beautiful. Even in a bonnet. Especially in a bonnet. This cost $12, and it's protecting my investment. He laughed, pulled her close. They got into bed together. It felt monumental, intimate. Not because of sex, they were just sleeping, but because this was different. This was trust. This was vulnerability. This was real. Nayla's head on his chest, his arm around her. The city noise outside. The fairy lights above. Nayla? I'm falling for you. Her breath caught. Adrian, you don't have to say it back. I just needed you to know. She lifted her head, looked at him in the dim light. I'm falling too. His smile could have powered all of Brooklyn. They fell asleep like that, tangled together. Safe. Happy. Outside, the city kept moving. But inside her small Fort Greene apartment, time stopped. Just two people. Falling. Together. Nayla's mama lived in a brownstone in Clinton Hill that she'd bought in the 90s when the neighborhood was still affordable. Adrian parked his car on the street, stared at the building, took a deep breath. "You're nervous," Nayla observed. "I'm terrified. She's going to love you. You don't know that. I know my mama. Just be yourself, answer her questions. And whatever you do, don't refuse seconds." "Noted." They walked up the steps. The front door opened before they could knock. Nayla's mama stood there, petite, elegant, wearing a floral dress and an expression that was equal parts welcoming and terrifying. "Mama, this is Adrian." "Mrs. Brooks," Adrian said, extending his hand. "It's an honor to meet you." She looked at his hand, looked at him, then pulled him into a hug that somehow felt like both acceptance and a warning. "Come in, baby, and call me Gloria. Mrs. Brooks was my mother-in-law, and I didn't like her much." Inside, the house smelled like heaven. Fried chicken, collard greens, cornbread, mac and cheese that was probably illegal in several states. "Your home is beautiful," Adrian said. "Don't butter me up yet. You haven't survived dinner." Nayla shot him an apologetic look. He smiled back. They were in this together. Gloria led them to the living room. Photos covered every surface. Nayla as a baby, Nayla's graduation, Nayla with her dad, a man with kind eyes, and Nayla's smile. "That's my Leon," Gloria said, noticing Adrian looking. "Best man I ever knew. Couldn't read worth a damn but could fix anything. Built half this house with his own hands. Nayla told me about him. He sounds incredible." "He was." Gloria's eyes softened. "Sit, both of you. Food's almost ready." They sat on a couch that had probably been there since the 90s. Floral pattern. Plastic covering that crinkled. "So," Gloria said, settling into an armchair, "Adrian Stone, you run a big company." "Yes, Mom. Make a lot of money." "I do well." "And you're dating my daughter." "I am. With your blessing, I hope." "My blessing isn't free. I got questions." "Mama," Nayla started. "Hush. I'm just getting started." Gloria leaned forward. "What are your intentions with my daughter?" Adrian didn't hesitate. "To make her happy, to support her dreams, to be the kind of man she deserves." "And if it doesn't work out? Then I'll still respect her, still support her career, still think she's the most incredible woman I've ever met." Gloria studied him, long enough that Adrian started to sweat. "You eat greens." Yes. "Good. Can't trust a man who doesn't eat greens." She stood. "Come help me in the kitchen, Nayla, you stay here." Nayla's eyes went wide. Adrian followed Gloria like a man walking to his execution. The kitchen was small, warm. Every burner had something cooking. "Stir that pot," Gloria ordered, pointing to the collard greens. Adrian stirred. The greens smelled incredible. Vinegar, smoked meat. Something he couldn't identify but wanted to. "My daughter's special," Gloria said, checking the cornbread. "Smart, strong, got her daddy's heart and my stubbornness." "I know. I see it every day. She don't date much, too focused on work, too scared of getting hurt." Gloria turned to face him. "So if you're playing games, you tell me now." "I'm not playing games. You love her." The question hit like a punch, direct, unavoidable. "I'm getting there," Adrian said honestly, "fast." Gloria nodded slowly. "Good, because she's already there with you, I can tell. And if you hurt her, I know people." "Noted. Now taste this." She handed him a spoon of greens. He tasted. His eyes widened. "Oh my God. Good. Best thing I've ever eaten." Gloria smiled. Actually smiled. "You'll do. Now help me carry these dishes." Dinner was chaos in the best way. Nayla's Uncle Ray showed up, tall, loud, with opinions about everything. Her cousin Jasmine appeared with her kids. The dining room filled with noise and laughter and food that made Adrian want to cry. "So you're the white boy," Ray said, shaking Adrian's hand hard enough to hurt. "That's me." "You treat my niece right?" "Every day." "Good, because I got a baseball bat and zero problems using it." "Uncle Ray," Nayla protested. "What? I'm just saying." They ate. Adrian tried everything. The chicken was perfect. The mac and cheese was ridiculous. The greens were life-changing. He went back for seconds without being asked. Gloria noticed, nodded approval. "So your mama teach you to cook?" she asked. "No, ma'am, she left when I was young." The table went quiet. Gloria's expression softened. "I'm sorry, baby, that's hard." "It was a long time ago." "Still hard." She passed him more cornbread. "Well, you're always welcome at my table, and Nayla can teach you. She got her daddy's patience." After dinner, they sat in the living room. The kids ran around. Ray argued with Uncle Jerome about the Knicks. Gloria showed Adrian every embarrassing photo of Nayla from birth to present. "Mama, please," Nayla begged. "Hush. He needs to know what he's getting into." Adrian loved every minute. This was family. Loud, chaotic, loving. Everything his childhood hadn't been. When they left, Gloria hugged Nayla tight, then pulled Adrian aside. "You're good for her," she said quietly. "I see it, the way she smiles, the way she talks about you. Just don't mess it up." "I won't." "And Adrian?" "Yes, ma'am." "That bonnet comment she told me about? That was cute. Keep being that honest. She appreciates it." In the car, Adrian exhaled for what felt like the first time in hours. "So?" Nayla asked. "Your family's amazing. They didn't scare you off?" "Are you kidding? Your uncle threatened me with a baseball bat and your mama interrogated me in the kitchen. I've had easier board meetings." He took her hand. "But I loved every second." "Really? Really? That's what family should be. Loud and loving and a little terrifying." She kissed him, right there in the car on her mama's street. "What was that for?" he asked. "For surviving, for being yourself, for not trying to be someone you're not." "I'm just trying to be worthy of you." "You already are." They drove back to Manhattan, hands linked. The city lights blurred past. "My place?" Adrian asked. "Your place." His apartment was massive, Upper West Side, floor-to-ceiling windows, furniture that cost more than most cars. Everything perfect and cold, and nothing like Gloria's warm lived-in home. "This is where you live?" Nayla asked. "Yeah. It's a lot. It's very you, or the you show the world. What's the me I show you? The guy who burns toast, who loses at Uno, who survived my mama's interrogation and asked for seconds of greens." She pulled him close. "The real you." He kissed her. Deep, hungry, full of everything he felt but couldn't say yet. They made it to his bedroom, kept the lights off. The city glowed outside, and for the first time in his perfectly controlled life, Adrian let go completely. With her, he could. 3 weeks in, and they hadn't fought yet. Nayla mentioned it to Simone over lunch at a spot in the financial district that served mediocre salads at criminal prices. "That's not normal," Simone said, stabbing a cherry tomato. "What's not normal? 3 weeks, no fights. You're either perfect for each other or you're both avoiding something." "We're not avoiding anything." But the thing was, maybe they were. At work they were careful, professional. Nayla reported to Adrian's VP, not directly to him, but everyone knew. The whispers had started, nothing malicious, just awareness. "How's Stone treating you?" Caleb from accounting asked one morning by the coffee machine. "Fine, why?" "Just checking. You know, making sure everything's appropriate." It's appropriate. But was it? They were sleeping together, having dinner with each other's families, falling in love, though neither had said those exact words yet. And at work, they pretended to be just colleagues. It started to feel like a lie. Friday afternoon, Adrian texted, "Dinner tonight?" Nayla, "Can't. Simone's birthday thing." Adrian, "Tomorrow then?" Nayla, "Mama wants me to help her with something." Sunday? Adrian, "Board meeting prep." Monday? Nayla stared at her phone. When had their schedules become this complicated? She didn't respond right away, focused on the presentation she was building. Quarterly projections for a client pitch. Her phone rang. Adrian. She stepped into an empty conference room. "Hey. Are we okay?" "What?" "Yeah. Why?" "You didn't respond." "I was working." Silence, the kind that felt heavy. "Adrian, we're fine. It's just a busy week." Right, yeah. Sorry, I'm being ridiculous. You're not. Someone knocked on the conference room door. David, from legal. You using this? 2 minutes, Nayla said. I have to go, she told Adrian. I'll call you tonight. Okay. She hung up. Felt weird about it, but she had work to do. That night she meant to call, really meant to, but Simone's birthday thing turned into karaoke and tequila shots, and by the time Nayla got home, it was past midnight, and Adrian had texted, "Hope you had fun. Talk tomorrow." She fell asleep feeling guilty about nothing and everything. Saturday, her mama needed help organizing the church fundraiser. Nayla spent 6 hours calling donors and setting up tables, and forgetting to check her phone. When she finally did, there were 3 texts from Adrian. Morning. How's it going? Haven't heard from you. Everything good? Call me when you can. She called. It went to voicemail. Hey, it's me. Sorry, I've been with Mama all day. Call me back. He didn't call back. Sunday morning. Nayla woke up to a text sent at 3 a.m. Can we talk? Her stomach dropped. She called. No answer. Tried again. Nothing. Texted. Adrian, what's wrong? He responded immediately. I'm at the office. Can you come here? It's Sunday. I know. Please. She got dressed, anxiety climbing her throat. Took the train because Sunday parking in Midtown was a nightmare. The office was empty. Security let her up. The 14th floor felt eerie without people. Adrian's office door was open. He was at his desk, hadn't shaved, still wearing yesterday's clothes. Hey, she said softly. He looked up, tired, stressed. Hey, what's going on? Sit. She sat, her heart hammering. I think we need to talk about this, Adrian said. About what? Us, work, all of it. Okay. He ran his hand through his hair. Someone from the board asked about us. Nayla's stomach clenched. What did they say? That I'm dating an employee, that it looks bad, that it could be a conflict of interest. I don't report to you. It doesn't matter, the perception is there. So what are you saying? Adrian stood, paced to the window. The city was quiet below. Sunday morning Manhattan. I don't know, we haven't even been together a month and it's already complicated. Complicated. We barely see each other, between work and your family and my schedule. So this is about time. No. Yes. I don't know. He turned to face her. I missed you this week, really missed you, and I hated that I felt needy about it. Nayla stood too. You're not needy, you wanted to see me, that's normal. Is it? Because I feel like I'm losing my mind, I can't focus at work. I check my phone constantly, I'm turning into someone I don't recognize. That's called having feelings, Adrian. It's called being distracted. The words hung there, sharp, painful. Is that what I am? Nayla asked quietly. A distraction? No, that's not what I meant. Because it sounded like that's exactly what you meant. Nayla, you know what? Maybe this is too complicated. Maybe we moved too fast. Maybe the board member is right and we should just... Don't. Adrian crossed to her. Don't finish that sentence. Why not? You're clearly having doubts. I'm not having doubts about us. I'm having doubts about whether I'm good enough for this. For you. For a real relationship. Her anger deflated slightly. What? I don't know how to do this, Adrian admitted. I've never felt like this before. And it scares me. The idea of messing it up, of losing you because I work too much or say the wrong thing or... Adrian, stop. He stopped. Nayla took his hands. You're spiraling. I know. We had a busy week. That's it. That's all that happened. The board member is concerned about optics. Fine. We'll be more careful at work. But that doesn't change us. You're not mad? I'm annoyed you didn't just talk to me instead of letting this build up in your head for 3 days. I'm sorry. And I'm sorry I didn't make more time. You're not needy for wanting to see me. I wanted to see you too. Adrian pulled her close, buried his face in her neck. I'm an idiot. A little bit. I thought you were pulling away. I was busy. There's a difference. I know, I just panicked. She pulled back to look at him. We're going to have busy weeks, complicated schedules, work stress. That's life. But we talk about it. We don't let it fester. Deal. And Adrian? Yeah? You're more than good enough. For this. For me. For everything. He kissed her, relief and apology, and something deeper. Come on, Nayla said. You need to leave this office. When's the last time you ate? Yesterday, maybe. That's terrible. We're getting food. It's Sunday morning. Nothing's open. The diner on 9th is always open, and you're buying me pancakes. They left the office together, took a cab to the diner, sat in a cracked vinyl booth and ordered way too much food. I'm sorry I freaked out, Adrian said over coffee. I'm sorry I didn't check in more. We're learning. We are. He took her hand across the table. I meant what I said about missing you. I missed you too. Even when you were having fun with Simone? Especially then, I kept thinking you'd like this song or you'd laugh at this joke. His smile was soft, real. Yeah? Yeah. The food came. They ate, talked, figured things out. Their first almost fight. Not perfect, but honest. And that, Nayla realized, mattered more. Adrian knew he was in love on a Tuesday. Not during some grand romantic moment, not over candlelit dinner or a sunset walk. It happened in the produce section at Whole Foods on Columbus Avenue. He was trying to pick out avocados, something he'd never done before Nayla, when his phone rang. Her name on the screen made him smile automatically. Hey you, he answered. Quick question. How ripe do you like your avocados? He looked down at the one in his hand. I have no idea what I'm looking for. Squeeze it gently. If it gives a little, it's perfect. He squeezed. It felt like a rock. This one's not ready. Try another. And Adrian? Yeah? I love that you're grocery shopping. It's very adult of you. He laughed. Tried another avocado. This one felt better. I'm learning. You're a good teacher. I have a good student. They hung up. He stood there in the produce section, avocado in hand, grinning like an idiot. That's when he knew. He was completely, utterly, terrifyingly in love with Nayla Brooks. The question was, when should he tell her? You're overthinking it, Kieran said that night at his apartment in Hell's Kitchen. They were drinking beer and eating pizza because neither of them could cook. Just tell her. It's been a month. So? That's fast. You called me at 2 a.m. 3 weeks ago because she smiled at you weird. You were already gone. Just make it official. Adrian took a drink. The beer was cheap, the pizza was cold. His brother's apartment was a disaster zone. What if she's not ready? Then she'll tell you, and you'll deal with it. But my money's on her feeling the same way. How do you know? Because she looks at you the same way you look at her, like you're the best thing that ever happened. Adrian wanted to believe that, needed to believe that. Friday night he made a plan, dinner at Nonna's, their place, then a walk through Brooklyn Bridge Park. He'd tell her there, with the city lights and the water and everything perfect, except nothing went according to plan. First, his meeting ran late. Then traffic was a nightmare. By the time he picked up Nayla, they were 40 minutes behind schedule. It's fine, she said, getting in the car. She wore a green dress that made her skin glow. Her locks were in a high bun. She looked incredible. I'm sorry. Work was... Adrian, it's fine. We're together now. That's what matters. See? This is why he loved her. They got to Nonna's. Lucia took one look at them and smiled knowingly. Young love, she said, seating them at their usual corner table. It makes me remember my Giuseppe. Dinner was perfect. They talked about everything. She told him about the new literacy program expansion. He told her about Kieran's latest dating disaster. He took her to a Knicks game for a first date, Adrian said. What's wrong with that? She's a Nets fan. She left at halftime. Nayla laughed. That real laugh he loved. The one that made her throw her head back slightly. After dinner, they walked to the park. The night was clear, cool. The bridge lit up against the dark sky. They found a bench overlooking the water. Manhattan sparkled across the East River. This is nice, Nayla said, leaning against him. Yeah. You're quiet. What are you thinking about? Everything. Nothing. How to say 3 words that felt huge and terrifying and completely right. Nayla. Her phone rang. She glanced at it, frowned. It's Mama. I should... Take it, she answered. Hey, Mama. What's wrong? Adrian watched her face change. Concern, then fear. When? Is he okay? Pause. I'm coming. I'll be there in 20 minutes. She hung up, stood quickly. What happened? Uncle Ray had a heart attack. They're at Brooklyn Methodist. Let's go. They drove to the hospital. Adrian held her hand the whole way. She was quiet, scared. He wanted to fix it and couldn't. The emergency room was chaos. Gloria was there. Jasmine. Other relatives Adrian recognized from Sunday dinner. Mama, Nayla said, hugging her. He's in surgery. They said it's serious. They waited. Hours. Adrian got coffee that tasted like cardboard. Nayla paced. Gloria prayed quietly. Around midnight, a doctor came out. Uncle Ray had made it through surgery. He was stable. They could see him tomorrow. The relief was visible. Gloria cried. Jasmine hugged her kids tight. Thank you for staying, Nayla said to Adrian as they walked to his car. Where else would I be? You didn't have to. Nayla, stop. Of course I stayed. She looked at him, really looked at him. Something in her expression shifted. What? He asked. Nothing, just... Thank you. They drove back to her place in Fort Greene. It was late, almost 2 a.m. You want to come up? She asked. If you want me to. I do. Her apartment was quiet, familiar, safe. They got ready for bed without talking much. She was exhausted, emotionally drained. They lay in her bed, fairy lights glowing above them, her head on his chest, his arm around her. Adrian? Yeah? I love you. His heart stopped, then started again, faster. What? She lifted her head, looked at him in the dim light. I love you. I've been trying to figure out when to say it, how to say it. And then tonight, watching you stay with me for hours in that terrible hospital, getting my mama coffee, making Jasmine's kids laugh with that stupid magic trick you know. I knew. Adrian cupped her face. I was going to tell you tonight. Really? I had this whole plan, dinner, the park, some romantic speech I'd been rehearsing. What were you going to say? That I love you. That you make me want to be better. That I've never felt this way about anyone, and it scares me and excites me and feels completely right. Nayla's eyes filled with tears. Happy ones. Say it, she whispered. I love you, Nayla Brooks. Say it again. I love you. She kissed him, soft, sweet, full of everything they felt. I love you too, she murmured against his lips. So much. They held each other. The city, quiet outside. The fairy lights making everything soft and warm. This wasn't how I pictured tonight going, Adrian said. No? I thought it'd be romantic. Perfect. Not a hospital waiting room. It was perfect anyway because you were there, because you stayed. I'll always stay. Promise? Promise. She fell asleep in his arms. Adrian stayed awake longer, watching her breathe, feeling her heartbeat against his chest. He'd spent 38 years being careful, controlled, safe. And then Nayla Brooks walked into his life and changed everything. Best decision he never made. Because loving her wasn't a decision. It was inevitable. It was everything. 6 months later, Nayla woke up to the smell of something burning. She grabbed her robe and rushed to the kitchen. Adrian stood at the stove wearing boxers and an apron, waving a dish towel at the smoke detector. What are you doing? He turned, looking guilty. Making you breakfast. It's on fire. It's not on fire, it's crispy. She looked at the pan. Whatever had been eggs was now charcoal. Adrian Stone, CEO, master of the universe, can't make scrambled eggs. In my defense, I got distracted. By what? Thinking about you. She tried not to smile. Failed. That's a terrible excuse. It's the truth. He pulled her close, kissed her forehead. Good morning, by the way. Good morning. 6 months. They'd been together 6 months, living together for 2. Her lease had been up and Adrian had asked, nervous, adorable, if she wanted to move in. She'd said yes without hesitation. His apartment had changed. Her plants on the windowsill, her books on the shelves, her bonnet on the bathroom counter. It felt like home now. Their home. Go shower, Adrian said. I'll order breakfast. Smart man. She showered, got dressed, came back to find bagels from the place on 72nd and coffee exactly how she liked it. They ate on the couch, her feet in his lap, the Saturday morning sun streaming through the windows. "What do you want to do today?" Adrian asked. "Nothing, everything. I don't care as long as it's with you. Careful, I might hold you to that." Her phone buzzed. "Simone, brunch tomorrow? I need details about the thing." "Nayla, what thing?" "Simone, don't play. I saw the email. Project director position. Did you apply?" Nayla's stomach flipped. She'd been avoiding thinking about it. "What's wrong?" Adrian asked, noticing her expression. "Nothing." "Nayla." She sighed, set down her coffee. "There's a project director position at Stone Capital. Simone thinks I should apply." "You should. It's complicated." "Why?" "Because you're the CEO. Because people already talk. Because you're qualified and brilliant and deserve the promotion." "Adrian." "No, listen." He set down his bagel, turned to face her fully. "You've been incredible at your job. The Bergman deal, that was mostly you, the Chen acquisition, you, everyone knows it. They'll say I got it because of you. Let them. You'll prove them wrong in a week. You really think I should apply? I think you should do whatever makes you happy. If that's staying where you are, fine. If it's going somewhere else, I'll support you. But if it's this position," he took her hand, "then apply because you've earned it." She kissed him, soft, grateful. "I love you. I love you too. Now finish your bagel. We have plans." "What plans?" "It's a surprise." An hour later, they were at Prospect Park, the same place they'd gone on their second date. "Feeling nostalgic?" Nayla asked. "Something like that." They walked the loop. The October air was crisp, leaves crunching underfoot, families everywhere, kids flying kites, someone playing guitar by the lake. "Remember when you told me you couldn't whistle?" Adrian asked. "I still can't. Want to try?" "No." "Come on." She tried. Still just air. Adrian laughed, pulled her close. "Still terrible." "Still in love with me?" "Absolutely." They found their bench, the one from that second date, sat down. Adrian seemed nervous, his knee bouncing slightly. That thing he did when he was working up to something. "You okay?" Nayla asked. "Yeah, just, I've been thinking. About us, about the future, about what I want." Her heart started racing. "Adrian, let me finish, please." He turned to face her. 6 months ago, I heard you say 4 words that destroyed me, made me jealous for the first time in my life, made me realize I'd been lying to myself about not feeling anything. I remember, and every day since then has been everything. You make me laugh. You make me better. You make me want things I never thought I wanted." He reached into his jacket pocket. "Which is why I need to ask you something." He pulled out a small box. Nayla's breath caught. "This isn't a proposal," Adrian said quickly. "I know it's too soon. I know we said we'd take things slow, but I saw this, and I thought of you, and I couldn't not get it." He opened the box. Inside was a delicate gold necklace with a small pendant, her initial in elegant script. "Adrian," she whispered, "it's a promise that I'm all in. That I'm not going anywhere. That 6 months or 6 years or 60 years from now, I'm still going to be the guy who burns your eggs and loses at Uno and loves you more than anything." She was crying. Happy tears, the kind that made her mascara run, but she didn't care. "Put it on me," she said. He did, his hands gentle. The necklace settled against her collarbone. "Perfect. I love it. I love you. I love you too." She kissed him, right there on the bench, not caring who saw. "For the record," Nayla said when they broke apart, "when you do propose, and I'm not saying you should, I'm just saying when, I'm saying yes." His smile was everything. "Yeah? Yeah, because you're it for me, Adrian Stone, the guy who heard me rehearse a fake phone call and went crazy, who survived my mama's interrogation, who stayed with me for hours in a hospital waiting room, who makes me feel seen and loved and completely myself." Best fake phone call ever, he murmured. The best. They stayed at the park for hours, walked more, got tacos from the truck on Flatbush, talked about the future, the apartment, maybe getting a dog, maybe her applying for that promotion, maybe everything. That night back home they cooked dinner together. Adrian didn't burn anything, progress. They ate on the couch, watched a movie neither of them paid attention to, just existing together. "Hey," Nayla said during a commercial. Thank you." For what? For being jealous, for asking who I was talking to, for not being able to ignore this. Best worst decision I ever made. She touched the necklace, her initial against her skin, a promise of more to come. Outside, the city hummed. Inside, everything was exactly right. Two people who'd spent months dancing around each other, who'd finally stopped pretending, who'd built something real. Nayla looked at Adrian, this man who'd been so carefully controlled until 4 words had broken him open, and knew this was it. This was everything. This was home. And it all started with a jealous CEO and a fake phone call that changed both their lives forever. Best accident that ever happened. 1 year later. The thing about love, Nayla had learned, was that it showed up in the smallest moments, like right now. Saturday morning. Adrian's Upper West Side apartment, their apartment, filled with November sunlight. She was at the kitchen island, laptop open, working on the quarterly presentation for her new role as project director. Adrian walked in from the bedroom, hair messy, t-shirt and sweatpants. He'd finally learned to sleep past 7 on weekends. He kissed the top of her head without saying anything, poured himself coffee, sat across from her with his own laptop. They worked in comfortable silence. The kind of silence that only came from knowing someone completely. "What are you smiling about?" Adrian asked, not looking up from his screen. "How'd you know I was smiling?" "I always know." She closed her laptop. "I was thinking about how we got here. A fake phone call and my inability to handle jealousy. Exactly that." He looked up, smiled that smile, the real one, the one Kieran had talked about a year ago, the one that was just for her. Best jealousy of my life. Her phone buzzed. Simone. "Brunch at the usual spot? Bring your man. I need to tell you something." Nayla showed Adrian the text. "Think she's pregnant?" he asked. "She's been dating that guy Jonathan for like 3 months. Love works fast, trust me." 2 hours later, they were at the brunch spot in Fort Greene, the one with the good mimosas and the French toast that was basically cake. Simone showed up glowing. Literally glowing. "You're pregnant," Nayla said immediately. "What? No, but I am engaged." She held up her hand. Small diamond, simple, perfect. "Oh my God!" Nayla jumped up, hugged her best friend. "When? How? Tell me everything." Adrian shook Jonathan's hand. "Congratulations, man." "Thanks. I'm terrified." "That's normal." Simone launched into the story. Proposal at the Brooklyn Botanic Garden. She'd cried, said yes immediately, already planning a small wedding in the spring. "You'll be my maid of honor, right?" Simone asked. "Obviously. Do you even have to ask?" "And Adrian, you'll come? Both of you?" "Wouldn't miss it," Adrian said. They ordered food, celebrated, laughed about Simone's terrible dating history before Jonathan, planned wedding details. "What about you two?" Jonathan asked. "Any plans?" Nayla felt Adrian's hand find hers under the table. "We're taking our time," she said. "No rush." But the way Adrian squeezed her hand said something different. After brunch, they walked through Fort Greene Park. The leaves were almost gone. Winter coming. The air had that sharp, cold edge. "You okay?" Nayla asked. "Yeah, why?" "You've been quiet since Jonathan asked about us." Adrian stopped walking, turned to face her. "Can I tell you something?" "Always." "I have a ring." Her heart stopped. "What?" "I bought it 2 months ago. It's in my sock drawer. I keep almost asking you and then chickening out." "Why?" "Because what if you say no?" "Adrian, what if it's too soon? What if you're not ready? What if—" She kissed him, cut off his spiral. When she pulled back, she was smiling. "Ask me." "What?" "Right now, ask me." Here, in the middle of the park. Why not? I don't have the ring. I don't care about the ring. I care about you, so ask me. Adrian took a breath, took both her hands. Nayla Brooks, will you marry me? Yes. I didn't even do a speech. I don't need a speech. I just need you, so yes, 1,000 times yes. He picked her up, spun her around. She laughed, that real laugh, the one he loved. When he set her down, they were both grinning like idiots. We're engaged, Adrian said, like he couldn't believe it. We're engaged. I need to get you that ring. Later. Right now. I just want to be here. With you. They walked back to the apartment, told no one yet, keeping it just theirs for a few hours. That night, Adrian retrieved the ring from his sock drawer. It was perfect. Simple gold band, small diamond, elegant, exactly her style. He slipped it on her finger. Perfect fit, she whispered. Just like us. They called their families. Gloria cried. Happy tears. Said she'd been praying for this. Said Adrian was a good man and she was proud to call him son. Kieran whooped so loud Adrian had to hold the phone away from his ear. Finally, I was wondering when you'd stop being a coward. Love you too, Kieran, Simone screamed, actual screaming, then immediately started planning a double celebration. They ordered takeout, ate on the couch, her feet in his lap, the ring catching the light. Can I tell you something? Nayla said. Anything. That day, when you heard me on the phone, I almost didn't do the rehearsal out loud. Really? I was self-conscious, thought it was silly, but I did it anyway. I'm glad you did. Me too, because it brought us here. Adrian pulled her close. You know what's crazy? What? I spent 38 years convinced I didn't need anyone, that love was a distraction, a weakness. And then you walked into my life and destroyed every defense I'd built. Sorry, not sorry, he laughed. Best destruction of my life. Good. Because I'm not done destroying you yet. Promise? Promise. They stayed up late, talking about the wedding. Something small, intimate. Maybe at Gloria's church, or maybe somewhere in Brooklyn, or maybe they'd elope and have a party after. They had time to figure it out. Hey, Adrian said around midnight. Thank you. For what? For saying yes, for being patient with me, for teaching me that love isn't a weakness. It's the strongest thing I've ever felt. Nayla touched his face. Thank you for being jealous, for asking me who I was talking to, for not being able to ignore this. I couldn't ignore you if I tried. Good, don't try. They fell asleep tangled together, engaged, happy, building a life. Outside, New York hummed, the city that never sleeps, the city where they'd found each other. One fake phone call, 4 words, one jealous CEO, and a love story that was just beginning. Because the thing about love, Nayla had learned, was that it showed up in the smallest moments, but it stayed in the biggest ways. Forever. The end. A note to you, dear reader. If you're reading this, thank you for spending time with Adrian and Nayla's story. Love comes in unexpected ways, sometimes through a misheard phone call, sometimes through a shared meal, sometimes through simply showing up when it matters. May you find someone who makes you laugh at the worst moments, who stays during the hard times, who burns your eggs but tries anyway, and who loves you exactly as you are. And may you have the courage to say yes when your person asks. One last question. What was your favorite moment between Adrian and Nayla? Was it the first jealous confrontation, the cooking lesson, meeting the families, or maybe that simple "I love you" exchange? Drop a comment and let us know. We love hearing from you. Until next time, keep believing in love. Keep saying yes to the people who make your heart smile. Keep finding magic in the everyday moments, because that's where the best love stories live.